Hello, hello. Welcome back to some more Umineko When They Cry. Before I start to recap, I hope you all had a good February this month of the sort. Well, that aside, where did I last left off? Alright. So where we last left off, you know, both George and Eva Beatrice are those two in the middle of a freaking another shonen battle of the sort. All because of these strong disagreements when it comes to you know when it comes to George's decisions of comes to love, and in which George was able to win the love trial, and then after that, let me see if I pause. Oh no, not that. Believe this part, right? No, I don't pause that. Yeah, a lot of crazy shit. That's for damn sure. But now that aside, after that, now it's Jessica's turn to step up in front of the line. So curious how this goes. But this right now we're in this chapter. We're in the 10th chapter called Romantic Regrets. Wonder what that means for what when it comes to romantic regrets. I mean, well, we are halfway. Maybe there's some more stuff. All right, let's continue. As usual, this year's family conference was getting bogged down, so I'm not surprised. Everyone had decided to cool their heads for a moment, and a short break had been agreed upon. The four siblings could say whatever they wanted, but Natsuki and Kyrie, for example, were outsiders and found it difficult to speak freely in this sort of atmosphere. A conference where you aren't allowed to say what you want can be tiring, even as you just sit there quietly. Yeah, like if that's the thing is like, do you hate it when you just sit there and do fucking nothing? Fucking boring as shit. Like like that's the weird thing, right? Like imagine like you're getting dragged down within like the family gathering, although like you don't have anyone to like really talk to when it comes to similar interests, and you just hear some like boring, argumentative shit. So I can see why. Because you sit there quietly. Even Kiri couldn't help letting out a deep sigh. I feel that. This was the second floor hallway of the mansion. Rudolf had wanted to be alone during the break, so she had felt like doing the same, and had drifted up the stairs to reach this place. Kiri's expression was less tightly controlled than when her husband was around. She wore a tired look that she didn't often show. She pressed her cheek against the cool window glass. I need to regain my spirit and support my husband, even if I'm not allowed to speak. That's the duty I've won.
誰？
She suddenly sensed another person, turned around to look behind her, and saw Jessica standing at the other end of the hallway. Hmm, what is Jessica doing at a time like this?
あら、ジェシカちゃんじゃない。ゲストハウスに行ったんじゃなかったの？
Now here's the question, right? Why is Jessica here? Well, I wonder what kind of stupid theory I could make up. Did she had trouble? Was she being uncomfortable while she was talking to her cousins at the guest house, or maybe she needs to find something in her room before doing anything, or maybe she doesn't want to be in the guest house and wants to rather sleep in the mansion.
ちょっと本を取りに自分の部屋へ戻ってたんです。
Okay, close enough. She wants to get a book, but what book?
そう。ゲストハウスに戻るところ？
はいそうです
That's right, she said.
嫌な雨ね。風はだいぶ強いのかしら。
I mean, depends on how strong the wind is.
今は比較的弱いみたいです
Well, as Kyrie looked out the window, Jessica watched her back, looking agitated.
キリエおばさんごめんよ運がなかったと思ってくれ
You've only got your bad luck to blame.
ゼトルジェシカの運命のルーレットはキリエを選んでしまったわ
Kyrie?
どうするんだいジェシカ。ルーレットはキリエを選んだけど、それを拒否して再びルーレットを回すのも君の勝手さ。
Wait, so you want... Wait,
試練に捧げるのは誰の命でも問わないのだから。
is this... What is this? Is this what we have to start for the first Twilight? This is crazy. So we go by a love trial and we're going to choose... Is this how it goes to sacrifice the first 6 is by through a love trial? That's crazy. Jessica wasn't like George. George had willingly chosen Eva to be his sacrifice, to signify his separation from his old life so that he could step into a new life married to Shannon. However, Jessica hadn't thought of any particular target, so she had left it up to the roulette of fate. Roulette of fate. That was no exaggeration. She had walked around at random, imposing a rule on herself that the first person she met would be chosen as her sacrifice. And so the roulette of fate had brought her to Kyrie. Of course, there was nothing forcing her to keep to that rule. However, Jessica didn't want to break a rule she had once made. Even though she was participating in the demon's game, she still wanted to cling to this one last virtue. Right now, she could attack that unprotected back. But Jessica still wasn't able to fully resolve herself.
どうしたの？何か私に話でも？
Noticing the strange distance Jessica was standing at, Kyrie turned around. That unprotected back was already gone. Well, it was like, well, you already lost your opportunity there. Jessica realized that her hesitation had made her lose her own first chance. She had taken on this demon's game to prove her love for Canon. However, would it really be okay to sell her soul to demons for the sake of love? She had energetically consented to this demon's game, not wanting to let George, who had already taken an open-minded view of the situation, get any more of a lead on her. But her heart still wasn't ready.
あの
Why is she so hesitant? I mean, I guess considering George was like being really optimistic, was showing like his persistence all because like he wanted to dedicate his love for Shannon. But with Jessica, is like she's so hesitant. She's not sure if she wants to like you know find a target, considering it's part of her family. So
キリエおばさんにこんな質問まずいかな
何？ジェシカちゃんが私に質問なんて珍しいわね。
yeah, well,
答えられるものだといいんだけれど。
実は 私好きな人はいるんです。
あら、そうなの？
That's one way to ask that question. Jesus.
それは素敵ね。まさか恋の相談なの？
Is this really the kind of normal conversation we're gonna have?
そんなところです。
いいわよ。私でよければ力になるわ。
You know, out of all, you know, I thought Jessica was gonna like talk to Natsuki first, but I guess close enough, I guess.
ありがとうございます。
Well, that's okay. If George had talked to Eva, which is his mother, I thought Jessica was gonna converse to her mother about it, but I guess not. I guess I'm wrong.
実はそれで、その
I mean, I guess that's how the love trial goes. I don't know about like Natsuki's love beliefs or, you know, her judgment of the moral right to love someone like for Jessica to love Canon. So
まだ片思いなの？
いえ、そこから両思いになりたてって感じのとこです。
mutual
ただその結ばれるには試練があって。
trial. Why would you want to blow your cover?
試練？
Oh my god, Jessica, you just had to say that.
何それ？
That is some crazy shit that you're just saying there.
私たちともう一組の恋人たちがいて、争わなくちゃならないんです。
三角関係？
Love triangle.
それとも四角関係？ 複雑そうね。それで？
I mean, I know about a love triangle, and I've seen it in a lot of TV shows and movies, but a love square? I mean, I guess a love square is kind of uncommon as well, but if anything, love triangles are pretty common in shows that involves like within a love quote unquote genre of the sort.
勝った方の恋人同士しか結ばれない。そういう複雑なことになってるんです。つまりその
嫌な話ね。相手を踏み台にしてしかどちらも成就できない恋なのね。
はい。自分たちが結ばれれば相手が破綻します。そして逆もしかりです。
質問の趣旨が大体分かったわ。こういうことでしょ？人は幸せになるためにどこまで他者を踏み台にすることが許されるのかでしょ？
Yes, Kyrie was very smart. She had already guessed the question that Jessica had wanted to ask most.
戦わなければ自動的に相手が勝ってジェシカちゃんたちは負けになる。しかし戦って勝てば相手を破綻させることになる。どちらも嫌な話ね。
You don't fight, it automatically becomes their victory. Well, no shit. Like, imagine like participating in a game-related match, and you just didn't like make up your mind, and you make up your mind. So that means you already gave up. You just you're throwing out your you're just throwing out your will as a participant.
でも聞くまでもなく答えは決まっているわ。
はい。
Kyrie giggled. If she wasn't sticking to her love until the end, then that would show the limits of their relationship. If that were the case, she should just let the other pair of lovers win. However, if this was a love she couldn't abandon her chances of victory either. So she had no options other than to fight. In the end, Jessica's hesitation was caused by guilt over forcing the others to split apart as the result of her inevitable decision.
やっぱり私は甘えているでしょうか。
そうね。
うん。
甘えてるわ。
でも自分たちが結ばれるために誰かを踏み台にするなんて、そんなの辛いです。
I mean, you don't have any other choice. Let me see here. Well, you know what they say, Jessica. You gotta assert your dominance.
じゃあジェシカちゃんは恋のお相手を諦める？
Will you give up on your lover?
それは
It's a crazy question. Pretty bold one.
断言するわ。その方が辛いわよ。地獄を這うことになる。生涯ね。
A hardness had entered Kyrie's gaze.
私は6歳だったから当時は何もわからなかったけれど、
Oh, Angie is still reading this.
遺品の中にお母さんの手記があったわ。
Oh, she's talking about her diary or notebook, all that stuff?
それは日記のようなものか。どちらかというと随想録ね。日記よりももっとアバウトなものよ。亡くなってすぐにそれを見つけて読んだけど、その意味を理解できるようになるには長い時間と私の成長を待たなければならなかったわ。なるほど。キリエの夫婦仲についての悩みが記されていたというのか。あれは完全にお母さんの呪い帳よね。
A book of curses.
その中身は6歳の私がずっと漠然と感じていた疑問を次々に表解させてくれたわ。
When I was 6, it seemed as though my parents were very close and had no problems. And though I thought it odd that Oni-chan lived separately, even though he wasn't our family, I accepted it as the way things were.
アスムのことは知らなかったのか。
Asumu?
お兄ちゃんが誰もいない時に話してくれたような気がするけど、小学校前の私にそれが理解できるはずがない。だって写真すらない相手よ。 母さんはアスムさんの写った写真の全てをお兄ちゃんに送って、家の中には一切残さなかったそうだから。
To Angie and to Badler, who only rarely came home, Kyrie's smile never faltered. If she hadn't written her thoughts in that notebook, Angie would probably never have known them. Since his school days, Rudolf had been particularly popular with girls, a typical playboy. Be bold, over the top, yet still just a little bit gentle towards women. He probably kept that formula for being popular with women inside his head. In their attempts to win Rudolph's favor, several women tried various seductive tricks. Rudolph probably enjoyed that part the most. Since the beginning, love had been a game to Rudolph. He never thought of it as a trial and error process to find a single life partner. He would intentionally spark jealousy between women, lap up their compliments, and revel in the harem. He may be my father, but he was an awful man. Oh?
でもお父さんも同時に媚びへつらう女の子たちをきっと見下してもいたのね。
I see Rudolph has his backstory of baggage that even I don't know. I kind of know, like, Kyrie's, like, you know, like, ongoing, like envy of the sort when it comes to Badler's biological mother. Although, if this kind of dialogue's kind of describing, like, you know, Rudolph's, like, bad moments, then, you know, he's also not he's not safe as well. So
そんな中に自分の価値観をしっかりと持ち、知性を見せるお母さんは目立って見えた。
それすらもルドルフの目を引きたいキリエの知恵かもしれぬがな。
かもね。お母さんはいろいろな意味で頭が良かったから。
like the other Ushiromiya siblings, Rudolph had strong ambitions and lofty goals. Under the mottos of, if you can pull it off, you're golden, and as long as no one finds out, those two in quotes that is, he would alternate between setting up businesses that were borderline swindles or illegal, then running away. I've heard that in his college years he was already making use of that talent, thinking up shameless projects and cleverly making money through the panic selling party tickets. So much so that he could brag about carrying a wallet full of 110,000 yen notes all the time. Many women fell for his charisma and being the man responsible for these radical projects, as well as his thick wallet and generosity. It would be a lie to say that Kyrie wasn't one of them. However, what made Kyrie very different from the other women was that she could support Rudolf as a business partner. Rudolf would make a large-scale party successful, unable to hide his laughter at this massive, easy profit. The women would surround him. Among them... Wait, so right here... Shameless projects, clever making money through the... I'm curious, is Rudolph like a... Is he a pyramid scheming person, or is he like some sort of... Is he a con artist? Because he sounds like he... It wouldn't be... I don't know. Among them, only Kyrie was calm and composed. She could point out several ways that income and expenditure could be improved upon, and could even lay out a proposal for the next project.
そうしてルドルフにパートナーとして次第に認められていくわけであるか。
男子厨房に入るべからずっていうように、女もまた財布に入るべからずって空気はあるわよね。女はおごられて当たり前。男の出す1万円札をどうやって捻出しているかは野暮だから聞かない、知らない、興味もない。
キリエは金に対する価値観が男性的であったということだ。
Rudolph noticed a true treasure in this part of Kyrie. He knew exactly how much hard work it took to get just one of those 10,000 yen notes. So, somewhere inside him, he had looked down upon those extravagant women who never even considered the efforts he had undertaken. Of all of them, only Kyrie had possessed the same sharp financial intuition as Rudolph. Every time he thought of a new plan, he would talk to Kyrie about it, work out the kinks, and make it succeed. This way, Kyrie steadily worked her way up until she was the number one of Rudolph's large group of followers.
でもお母さんだって女。他の女たちにちやほやされてるお父さんを見て心が安らいでたかどうかは疑わしい。
ナンバーワンよりオンリーワンの方が良いというもの。
そういうこと。お母さんはお父さんの右腕として活躍しながらも、その陰では狡猾に他の女性を切り離していったわ。お母さんの恋の成就はもはや時間の問題だった。
アスムはいつからいたのか。ルドルフさんの取り巻きの一人よ。
Rudolph-san's groupies.
いえ、取り巻いてさえいなかったわ。ただのファンの一人だったわ。
She was just one of his fans?
話したことはあるんですか？
もちろん。私は彼女のことをよく知ってるわ。ルドルフさんがアスムさんの名前さえ知らなかった一番最初からね。
You knew her well, then I'm really wanting to know the answer as to why you were jealous of her.
あの子もきっと頭のいい子だったのよ。狡猾だったわ。
Intelligent and cunning.
私は頭の良さで目立とうとしたけど、彼女は全くその逆で目立とうとしたの。
頭の悪さで？
肥後欲のかきたて方がうまいって意味よ。こびてイチャついてくる女たちの中で、彼女の仕草の一つ一つが派手な女たちに触傷を起こしていたルドルフさんには目立って見えたのよ。
Kyrie still acknowledges the mistake she made in letting Asumu and Rudolph get too close. Kyrie had thought that taking the role of Rudolph's business partner meant she would have him alter himself. That might have been due to her pride, and it might have been her arrogance as she tried to eliminate the relationships between all the other girls and Rudolph. Perhaps she sometimes tried too hard as a business partner, putting too much pressure on him, regardless of the fact that it was justified. Bit by bit, Rudolph had started to need a woman who could stay quiet and soothe him without making him think about anything complicated. That woman was Asumu.
私は冷酷で知的、
Okay.
合理的で経済的。カルネアデスの船板のような状況があったら躊躇なく相手を蹴落とすわ。
Wait. So is Rudolph doing this just to Is Rudolph just like finding like doing this method of like just to cherry pick which woman would fit well as his business partner for because as the sake of like as a way to make money? This is a kind of a weird way for Rudolph to like rely on his own charisma and it's like, oh, she's doing this just to for the wow.
そんなパートナーがあの人にはふさわしいと思っていたから。
However, though that ruthlessness had made her reliable on the business side of things, it might have disturbed Rudolph deeply outside of business. At some point, though Rudolph still acknowledged Kyrie's skill, he began to yearn for a quiet, warm acceptance. Asumu had satisfied all of those conditions. She would never talk about anything complicated. Even if he did, she would just shake her head to say she didn't know. However, she would care more for him physically than anyone else, quietly putting a blanket on him and staying by his side until morning.
確かに私はビジネスのパートナーの座を手に入れた。しかしいつしかルドルフさんには心を癒してくれるメンタルのパートナーが必要になっていた。
So, if anything, a business partner, and now he also needs a mental partner.
私は愚かしくも知的を自称しながらそれに気づけずにいたわ。
それでルドルフおじさんはアスムおばさんと結婚を？
ええ、そうよ。取られた。たくさんの女をはべらしていたもの。
Why am I not surprised?
今さらどこの女と遊んだって情を移すような人じゃない。それにあの人にとって女なんて遊びでしかなかったもの。
Yeah, because Rudolph's a pimp.
だからこそ私は体以外を武器に自分の存在を示していた。
What did she use?
慢心だな、女として。間もなく2人は解任するわ。アスムさんはそれをすぐにお父さんに打ち明けたけど、お母さんは逆だった。
身重になることがビジネスパートナーの座を揺るがすことになりかねないと恐れたのだな。
当時のお母さんは食が細くて体調不良とか当たり前だったみたいだから、解任に気づくのも随分遅れた。
気づいたのは
アスムさんとお父さんが電撃入籍をしてからよ。お母さんはその後に妊娠を知ってアスムさんやお父さんを揺さぶろうと随分暗躍したみたいだけど。
It's plotted several times to split Asumu and Rudolph apart.
アスムさん、あんなにぼんやりしてそうなのに。ルドルフさんを加え込んだら話はしない。だから何ですか、どうぞお引き取りくださいですってよ。バス一つ乗るにも怖い怖いと縮こまってたあの小娘がね。あの時悟ったわ。本当に狡猾だったのは彼女だったってね。そうよ、乗り物恐怖症だってルドルフさんの気を引くための嘘だったわ。 ごめんなさい。こんな話を聞いてもつまらないわよね。
You know, judging by episode 3 of how of Kiri's like, you know, like jealousy that is still burning her, I can tell by her. But this is all right. So we're over 35 minutes in, and I really kind of question what it, because I feel like within these several episodes in, I feel like there's a lot of family complications, and however, within these family complications is especially within a wealthy, rich, with a rich family household. I cannot. Okay, this one right here. I can't tell if Asumu is the bad person or Kiri, because if anything, Kiri described Asumu as like intelligent and cunning, but with Kiri's goal is more of like she wanted to rely on her own intelligence as being a business partner for Rudolf, but because Kiri realized she was pregnant, she knows that it could affect her greatly if Rudolf is married to Asumu, and if anything, Kiri was plotting the way to split the two apart just so it doesn't affect her reputation. That's what I got from this. Because if anything, like I don't know who's worse of those two, or is Rudolph also a part of blame? Well, Rudolph is a playboy, so
いえ。
せめて私の産む子だけでも認知させたかったわ。ルドルフさんもそのつもりはあったみたい。病院もきっちり手配してくれたし、アスムさんの出産が近づいても海外しく私のところにも来てくれてたっけ。もはや向こうが本当の奥さんなのにね。ひどい人だわ、本当。
So what you're saying is you think Rudolph. Oh. Wait, are you saying Asumu's the worst, or are you saying Rudolph is the worst? Like you want to put up? I guess it's Rudolph's fault considering like, this is how he is. He's a playboy with as a way to scheme, the scheming, type of way with with how his charisma plays. But what is? Hang on, polygamy. I guess polygamy does not work in this Umineko dialogue, huh? After that is a tale I can't bear even to tell. Both Asumu and I had the same delivery date, yet her pregnancy had meant her marriage, where mine was completely meaningless. I swore to bring up my child well and have Rudolph-san acknowledge it. The fight between Asumu-san and me ended with my loss. However, I wasn't down for the count. If I could make my child excel far more than Asumu-san's. Hang on, I got an interesting drop because I'm grinding a Grand Blue on the side. But I'm again, I already know how the story goes, but it's getting crazy. Anyway. If I could make my child excel far more than Asumu-san's, if I could make it fully acknowledged by Rudolph-san, I would be rewarded. That's what I believed.
しかしキリエの子は死産だった。
A stillbirth.
ええ。アスムさんにはお兄ちゃんが生まれた。 しかしお母さんからは誰も。
Wait, so Asumu gave birth to Battler, but mom didn't get. Wait, Kyrie didn't give birth. Wait, what? What does Angie mean? Angie? What do you mean by your mother didn't give birth to anyone?
お母さんのせめて第二夫人の座に残りたいという最後の希望は絶たれた。
Dad's second wife was destroyed. Kyrie had fallen from being his partner to being his second wife, and then, unable to give birth to the bond of a child, she tumbled down to being merely his mistress. I can't imagine how much she must have hated Asumu and that kid, Battler.
そんなのをお首にも出さず、お母さんはお兄ちゃんとも親しげに接してたわ。ショックだった。
So a still. Hang on. What the fuck does this mean? Hmm. Oh. I see what the definition of stillbirth means, but that seems really conflicting. So okay, so if not okay, so this is what I remember the last episode. Okay, so the fifth episode was the focus on Natsuki, but within Natsuki's backstory, according to her, she's unable to her body doesn't have the capability to to produce a child. She can't procreate, but according to Kyrie, Kyrie was able to get pregnant, but a stillbirth. Does this mean so did Kyrie had a miscarriage? No, I don't think that's the definition. I don't. I mean, judging from how it turned out, wait. So when Asumu gave birth, and then Kyrie can even try to but couldn't do it. Does that sort of emotion can also affect taking it out on Battler, even though Battler is supposedly Kyrie's stepchild? I mean, it's kind of a shock.
あの優しいお母さんがお兄ちゃんにそんな負の感情を持っていて、それを隠しおおせてたなんて。
Featherine is like, I don't know about this.
憎かったであろうな、バトラーが。
That's so weird. Like, we're over few episodes in, and Kyrie was like being really nice to Battler. So are you saying that deep down inside of her mentality, she despises Battler no matter what?
でしょうね。もし死産がアスムさんで、お母さんの方がお兄ちゃんを出産していたなら、何か歴史は変わっていたかもしれない。もしもそうだったなら、アスムさんと離婚させて、自分と再婚するようなシナリオを描きたいと思ってたみたい。
それも 随想録にか。
ええ。だからこそそれは随想、妄想。涙で濡らしたシーツの端を噛みながらのお母さんの怨嗟。
Well,
後悔は一点だけ。
解任ですか。
well, oh, so that's what they mean for this chapter, romantic regrets.
違う違う。私のおごりだけよ。ルドルフさんはもう私のものだから絶対安全。あんなアスムなんていう小娘に負けるわけがない。彼女がバスや飛行機でギャーギャーわめくとき、私はその手配と経費を適正に処理できた。だから私は一番ルドルフさんに信頼されているとおごり高ぶっていた。
The look on her face is like,
恋って育むって言うでしょ。
はい。
間違ってないわ。二人で水をやり世話をして育む。そして最後に結実するのが愛という実なの。知ってる？結実して終わりじゃないのよ。愛を収穫しなきゃ恋は成就したことにならないの。
収穫って？
それはジェシカちゃんが考えなさい。実らせても収穫しなきゃ傷んで腐ることもある。虫がたかることだってもちろんあるわ。いいえ、それどころか盗人が現れてもぎ取っていってしまうことさえもね。
so what you're saying is maintaining love is like maintaining a garden. Bear the fruit called love. So maintaining love is like tending to your garden? Huh. Interesting analogy.
ジェシカちゃんたち若い子の恋愛観は育むところで終わってる。それは甘いわ。愛を収穫しなきゃ恋は報われない。
If you don't harvest it, you will never be rewarded for your love.
愛を収穫。
それは一見愛し合う二人きりだけの問題に見えてそんなことはないのよ。だからいつ収穫しても自由なんていう先延ばしは盗人に機会を与えるだけ。苦労して育てた実が翌朝にもぎ取られてなくなっていたら、昨日のうちに面倒くさがらずに収穫しておけばよかったと後悔するはずよ。
Well, yeah, because like, well, no shit. Because when it comes, if you have like stuff in your garden that is ready to be harvested, and even if you don't do it like right, and if you don't do it by that time, then it's gonna wilt, or it's gonna be like taken away by animals. So it's like, of course, like
辛いわよ、その後悔は。地獄を這うわよ。 私は幸運よ。その地獄が18年で終わったから。
Your hell ended after 18 years.
だからもう私は自分を間違えない。あの人は私のものよ。もう逃がさない。手放さない。そして主に感謝する。その機会を与えてくれて。絶対にあの人を諦めないという絶対の意志に奇跡が応えてくれたんだわ。
With a miracle? What the hell? By now... Well... I think this is a good time to stop here. I was going to continue more of this, but yeah, I think this is more than enough. I don't know, this is kind of the thing right here. Like, it feels like Kyrie like revealed her true colors in a way, but if anything, is like, is it by bad? I mean, a stillbirth within Kyrie, but Badler's biological mother was able to give birth to him. I mean, I feel like if anything, like, you know, Kyrie just had a really a bad time. So, but if anything, like, you know, this causes Kyrie to, you know, cause her sense of jealousy. I don't know. It looks like this sounds more than just like a love triangle just for the sake of, like, you know, being part of a victim. I don't know. If anything, I don't know. I don't know who's. If anything, I always thought, like, with Kyrie, she's like, she's kind of a bad person, but I don't know about soon. Or maybe, but Kyrie thinks Rudolph's bad too, so it's like, I don't know. I mean, couldn't I say? I don't think Asumu is that bad. I mean, I feel like both Kyrie and Rudolph are kind of like bad in my opinion. I don't know. It's just love seems seems like the dialogue for love is getting more melodramatic. Sorry, so we'll just end it from here. All right, next part. Let's 2 more of this chapter. So, like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys later. Take care, everyone.